their bold decision to step back from royal responsibilities and settle in the United States has not only been a personal evolution, but has also reshaped the very essence of modern royalty. This choice, while contentious, highlights their determination to forge a distinct path that balances time-honoured traditions with the quest for personal freedom, all while tackling issues that resonate with society at large. It all started like a fairy tale, a captivating romance that enchanted audiences worldwide. Yet, from the get-go, their relationship faced intense scrutiny from the media, diverging sharply from the typical narratives surrounding royal romances. Their grand wedding was more than just a celebration. It symbolised the dawn of a new era for the monarchy. However, this enchanting beginning was soon overshadowed by the harsh realities of public life, particularly for Meghan, who endured relentless media attention that severely impacted her mental health. This overwhelming pressure ultimately played a crucial role in their decision to step back from royal duties, a move that ignited widespread debate across the globe. By choosing to shield their family and establish a clear boundary between their public and private lives, they showcased a delicate balance between fulfilling obligations and prioritizing their mental well-being.
Never up, never down, never. Like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I always do. I never think, I always do. Never thought I wouldn't jump, oh what a fool. But if I fall, I would get up again.
Hello, Ivy here. This week's podcast is entitled The Crown in Crisis, which is the heading for our mini-series. And the heading for the podcast today is Harry and Meghan, Redefining Royalty and Global Influence. Sussex Global UK, episode 167. Here is an introduction. Today's podcast explores how the flaws of UK monarchy has been there for many decades, but was generally ignored. By the use of the British royal family's scapegoat being made to do the heavy lifting in setting a project on the road and ensuring that completion took place. But the heir to the throne always used to promote it and to take credit for its outcomes. Harry and Meghan are now in control of their own destiny and no longer live off taxpayer funding. They earn their own money and are slowly building a business empire, creating legacy for their family. The British royal family is now exposed more and more each day as to what they actually represent, and the fact that the monarchy is doing so badly, even with a sycophantic media primed to sell the UK monarchy as the top of the tree in monarchies, and is therefore a template to follow. For those who are ready to face reality, they recognise how low in popularity the current king and his heir have actually fallen. It is UK media who write positive articles daily, depicting high popularity of the royal family, when the reality is the current king's popularity is low, and it clearly is not sitting well with the king. And to make matters worse, even less people are interested in the heir and his consort. The crown is very much in crisis. The framework of the podcast today will be as follows. We will look at and debate the following themes. 1. Redefining royalty and international influence. 2. Sussex's evolution from monarchy scapegoats to global change makers. 3. Archewell's success, Invictus Games, youth empowerment and media evolution. 4. The narrative control shift, Netflix and upcoming projects. 5. Global press respect versus UK tabloid smear campaigns. 6. How authenticity is replacing archaic hierarchy. And as usual, my inclusion of a psychology note. We'll look at, just briefly, but there are several reference sources listed for all of these headings at the end of the article, which give you links to very detailed documents, which I think will be of interest to you all. So the psychology note is around resilience, post-traumatic growth, and narrative reclamation. Let's start with redefining royalty and international influence. Let's explore how Harry and Meghan are reshaping the concept of modern royalty by stepping away from traditional royal roles. The tale of Meghan and Prince Harry is one that intertwines love, transformation, and resilience. Their bold decision to step back from royal responsibilities and settle in the United States has not been a personal evolution, has not only been, a personal evolution, but has also reshaped the very essence of modern royalty. This choice, while contentious, highlights their determination to forge a distinct path that balances time-honoured traditions with the quest for personal freedom, all while tackling issues that resonate with society at large. It all started like a fairy tale, a captivating romance that enchanted audiences worldwide. Yet, from the get-go, their relationship faced intense scrutiny from the media, UK media in particular, diverging sharply from typical narratives surrounding royal romances. Their grand wedding was more than just a celebration. It symbolised the dawn of a new era for the monarchy. However, this enchanting beginning was soon overshadowed by the harsh realities of public life, particularly for Meghan, who endured relentless media attention that severely impacted her mental health. This overwhelming pressure ultimately played a crucial role in their decision to step back from royal duties, a move that ignited widespread debate across the globe. By choosing to shield their family and establish a clear boundary between their public and private lives, they showcased a delicate balance between fulfilling obligations and prioritizing their mental well-being. This pivotal shift allowed them to embrace new identities beyond the confines of traditional royalty, empowering them to engage in advocacy and charitable endeavours that resonate deeply with their values. In the United States, Meghan and Harry have set out to redefine what it means to be royal by passionately advocating for causes close to their hearts, such as mental health awareness and social justice. Their approach breaks away from conventional expectations, demonstrating that royalty can champion progressive movements while still paying homage to their heritage. This refreshing perspective shows that being royal doesn't mean being stuck in the past. It can involve leading the charge for meaningful change. Parenthood plays a significant role in their narrative. Meghan and Harry are committed to raising their children with a profound appreciation for their heritage, yet they strive to protect them from the relentless scrutiny that comes with royal life. This thoughtful approach reflects their desire for a future where royal children can grow up feeling a sense of purpose while enjoying the freedom to carve out their own paths. Through various initiatives and projects, Meghan and Harry continue to leverage their influence for positive change, illustrating how modern royalty can bridge the gap between tradition and contemporary values. The couple have become something even more powerful than royals. They have become relatable, resilient, and real. From palace walls to global impact. In 2020, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex made headlines when they chose to step away from their roles as senior members of the British royal family. Critics called it a scandal. Supporters called it brave. But what followed was neither retreat nor silence. It was reinvention. Now based in California, Harry and Meghan have built a life centred on service, storytelling and social change. Through their Archwell Foundation, they've launched initiatives supporting mental health, gender equity and community resilience. Their work is global, but their message is deeply personal: healing, hope and humanity. The power of their platform. Rather than relying on royal titles, the Sussexes have used their platform to amplify voices that often go unheard. Meghan's podcast, Archetypes, tackled stereotypes that hold women back, while their Netflix docuseries, Harry and Meghan, offered a raw, unfiltered look at their journey on their own terms. Harry continues to champion veterans through the Invictus Games, a sporting event he founded in 2014. Meghan is often by his side, not just as a supportive partner, but as a co-architect of their shared mission. Together, they've proven that service doesn't require a crown. It requires conviction. I will just add here that this article is quite long, and even though I have summarised much of it for the podcast, the article itself is several pages. You may wish to read that over a few sessions, but trust me, it is detailed and very, very good and interesting. And within that, there is a really long list of reference sources from various newspapers, magazines, interviews, short paragraphs on their progress over these last few years. And throughout this podcast, I am quoting quite often from these various magazines and publications, including newspapers, as well as putting my own thoughts alongside those paragraphs. Hence why it's become much longer than I would normally do, but I kept coming across such interesting information that the links that I couldn't have the time to read through them, or even to mention even half of those things in the podcast, we would have been here for a couple of hours. But I have listed all of the publications that I looked at, and I think they're the kind of documents, not so much the newspapers, but there are research papers that have been published, books, various things like that, sort of in terms of much longer term use, but things that I feel it's worth keeping the link, saving the link, and from time to time taking a read of some of those documents, so as well as the publications. And I've tried very much to avoid, wherever possible, the tabloids. I know that they occupy most of the UK media coverage, but I've limited it to very short paragraphs, and in some cases just the odd line, because the rest of it you can guess the tenor of what it comes out with, and I refuse to even read out aloud their nonsense. But there are some, so they are there, and I've left the links there for people to read through the complete articles from the various newspapers, all the ones that you know. But in terms of today and going through summaries of that article, you're not going to hear me quote that often, where I can avoid to do so from the tabloids. Tabloid content is in the article, and all of the links for the various tabloids and their articles and their views of the world and their views of Harry and Meghan daring to leave, they're all there. So you can look them up, just click on the link will open and you'll be able to read in detail. I'm just not going to talk about those particular publications in any kind of detail, really. The links are there. Other than that, I refuse to give them any further publicity. A legacy for the next generation. Their children, Archie and Lilibet, are growing up far from the royal spotlight, but close to the values their parents hold dear: compassion, courage, and authenticity. As Sussex Squad notes, their upbringing in Montecito reflects a conscious choice to prioritise privacy and normalcy over pomp and protocol. This isn't just a new chapter for Harry and Meghan. It's a new blueprint for what modern royalty can look like. One that's less about duty to an institution and more about devotion to humanity. In redefining their roles, Harry and Meghan have abandoned legacy. They haven't abandoned legacy, They have reimagined it. And in doing so, they've become something even more powerful than royals. They have become relatable, resilient, and real. And that is what the public are drawn to. Prince Harry, from royal duties to global leadership. In a striking transformation, Prince Harry has emerged as a prominent figure on the global stage, leaving behind the confines of royal expectations. Once told that his worth was tied solely to his role within the royal family, where his duties revolved around ceremonial tasks like cutting ribbons and waving at crowds, he has now carved out a path defined by purpose and respect. Observing him navigate life away from those royal constraints is nothing short of inspiring. The announcement of Prince Harry's participation last year in the 2024 Concordia Summit captured attention. This prestigious event took place in New York City from September the 23rd to the 25th and is a gathering of influential leaders from both public and private sectors. It's an opportunity for visionaries to come together and to discuss pressing global issues during the UN General Assembly week. The lineup of that summit was impressive, featuring not only Prince Harry, but also notable figures such as the New York Governor, Kathy Hochul, and Sir Nick Clegg, President of Global Affairs at Meta. There were many, many more speakers, by the way, but there were too many to list. But I have, as I said, included links to that particular event with everyone that was speaking on the day, all listed. Their diverse backgrounds enriched the discussions, making the summit a must-attend for those passionate about creating positive change. As a champion for mental health, veterans' rights, and environmental conservation, Prince Harry's advocacy work has made significant waves worldwide. His initiatives, including the Invictus Games, showcase his commitment to empowering others and addressing social challenges head-on. His evolving role underscores a broader commitment to meaningful engagement with critical issues. Governor Hochul, as the first female governor of New York, brought a pioneering spirit to the summit, focusing on economic recovery and public safety. Meanwhile, Sir Nick Clegg's extensive experience in digital policy and global communications was vital as the summit tackled topics like technology's societal impact. His background as a former Deputy Prime Minister of the UK adds depth to the conversation surrounding online safety and digital innovation. There are short profiles of other speakers who attended the summit listed in the reference sources at the end of the article. The Concordia Summit is more than just a gathering. It's a platform for action. The diversity of perspectives ensured that participants left with holistic understanding of the issues at hand. Prince Harry's inclusion among such esteemed company highlights his remarkable journey from a royal figurehead to a respected global leader. Harry is now a proactive advocate for change, demonstrating that true leadership transcends position and is rooted in impact. His story serves as a powerful reminder that we all have the potential to reshape our narratives. Harry and Meghan are frequently in the news for their stance against paparazzi and their decision to step back from the British royal family in early 2020. But behind the scenes, this famous couple advocates for various matters. Harry and Meghan's global activism expands beyond their home countries of the United States and the United Kingdom. They are frequent vocal supporters of global poverty issues, particularly those that affect children. Meghan's activism before becoming the Duchess of Sussex. Prior to her marriage to Prince Harry in 2018, Meghan was an outspoken advocate of gender equality in developing countries. She became a UN Women's Advocate for women's political participation and leadership in 2015. The following year, Meghan travelled to Rwanda and India as an ambassador for World Vision. World Vision is an organisation that fights global poverty in children. The experience inspired her to write an op-ed in Time magazine about the effects of stigma around menstruation and the effects that it can have on a girl's future. Prince Harry and Meghan's activism. When she married Prince Harry and became a member of the royal family, Meghan stepped down from these roles. However, this does not mean she stopped being a voice for those in need. Now, Harry and Meghan's activism has launched programs and supported charities around the globe that fight to eradicate global poverty. Additionally, they inspire fans of the royals to become advocates themselves. Their trips and projects in Africa. Harry and Meghan, along with their young son Archie, took a 10-day tour of Africa. They visited South Africa, Botswana, Angola and Malawi in late September and early October of 2019. While there, the couple announced a variety of projects including protecting forests, investing in technology, and ridding the land of dangerous landmines. The Duchess of Sussex additionally announced grants and scholarships from the Association of Commonwealth Universities. This is an international organisation that supports higher education and supports African girls in their journey to university and beyond. During this same trip, Harry and Meghan met with members of the Campaign for Female Education, CAMFED. CAMFED is a group of women advocating for girls' education and global poverty issues throughout Africa. The royal couple used their platform to support these women. In addition, they shared their work with their 10 million Instagram followers. Activism work on social media. This was not the first time that Harry and Meghan global activism could be seen on their social media accounts. In August 2019, the official Instagram account for the pair, at Sussex Royal, began a series entitled Forces for Change. They highlighted 15 organisations that they found inspiring or noteworthy. These organisations include Children International and Plan International United Kingdom. These two groups care and advocate for children living under the poverty line around the world. The simple act of sharing these organisations online spread awareness of the fight against global poverty. It also prompted followers of the Duke and Duchess to support these incredibly important causes. In April of 2020, the couple announced their new non-profit, Archewell. From royal duties to social activism, Prince Harry's inspiring journey of transformation and influence. Harry's departure from Britain was not a mere geographical shift, but an ideological one. He embraced a different way of living, one that prioritised mental well-being, personal freedom, and social activism. His candid revelations about his struggle with mental health, presented in the docuseries The Me You Can't See, is a testament to this transformation. In the United States, Harry has embarked on a new professional life. Apart from his royal lineage, alongside Meghan, he co-founded the non-profit organisation Archewell, which aims to uplift and unite communities through diverse initiatives ranging from mental health resources to scholarship programs. Prince Harry has also forged ahead into the corporate world. He took on the role of Chief Impact Officer at BetterUp, a mental health and productivity startup. Additionally, he and Meghan inked a multi-year deal with Netflix to produce documentaries, docu-series, feature films, scripted television shows, and children's programming through their company, Archewell Productions. Despite the criticism and scrutiny that often tag along with his royal status, Prince Harry has been resolute in his commitment to effect positive change. By moving away from the traditional expectations of royalty, he has offered a fresh perspective on what it means to be a public figure in the 21st century, balancing personal life and public responsibility. To conclude on this section, Prince Harry's journey is a narrative of transformation, one that has seen a royal prince evolve into an advocate for mental health, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist. As he continues to carve out his path, he remains a figure of immense interest both for his royal heritage and his forward-thinking endeavours. The Sussex's evolution from monarchy scapegoats to global change makers. A royal exit. The Sussex's journey beyond the palace walls. The fascination surrounding the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan, continues to captivate the UK, even years after their departure from royal duties. This couple's journey has sparked endless debates, dissected by self-proclaimed royal experts who seem unable to let go. Their every move is scrutinised, as if their personal choices could somehow unravel the very fabric of the monarchy itself. Yet Harry and Meghan have boldly chosen to carve out a life that prioritises their well-being and autonomy, leaving behind the constraints of royal expectations. Some critics argue that Harry's decision to step away from royal life equates to a betrayal of his family. However, this perspective fails to acknowledge the couple's desire for a healthier, more balanced existence. Their exit has undeniably altered the landscape of the monarchy, revealing a system struggling to adapt to modern values and changing societal norms. The monarchy was destined to struggle, and the signs were there decades ago. The establishment had no interest in facing what was coming over the hill. The arrogance of being convinced that they would all be all right, based on no workforce planning or strategy on how to build in and develop ways to strengthen the monarchy and to keep it relevant. Instead, the royal family and its media and so-called royal experts all took the easy way out and blamed it on the Sussexes stepping back and moving to another continent. Let's not forget that Harry and Meghan were willing to have a half-in and half-out arrangement, but the royal family were adamant that was not going to be acceptable. The outcome of that was that the couple moved away completely. It also needs to be said over and over again, because all the so-called experts just appear to tell the British royal family what they want to hear, as opposed to the hard truth of the matter. A couple or a person leaving a family business does not and could never be the cause of that business failing. If one person moving to another post elsewhere and creating a new life elsewhere could in any way cause the immediate house of cards to begin crumbling, then the answer is right there and has been for decades. It begs the question, what was everyone else doing all these years, and in particular the heir to the throne and his consort? They have gone over 2 decades without even one completed project to their name, as a couple or even on their own. That is one of the main in-your-face evidence that all of the royal family and its courtiers all chose to ignore. The 4 senior royals combined do not make one capable senior royal, mentally and physically able. And in no way has there ever been an honest evaluation of competency. It was convenient to have someone to be the scapegoat for the whole of the British royal family, but in particular to the heir to the throne. Everybody else could and did go on holidays every month or so, some cases every month, but seemed unable or uninterested in being part of a project that required more than reading of a card about its purpose, and then return to whatever luxury hole they occupied until the next working event, in inverted commas, of a few moments or so was scheduled for their attendance. Harry and Meghan are not the reason for the failures and inherent weakness and lack of competency on any level. It was the couple taking the chance to try and forge a new life for themselves and their children that allowed the lights to shine on a group of people who were embarrassingly poor quality royals. They wanted the spotlight, but now that it shines on them every day, all manner of health issues have appeared, and many others are frail due to age, and there is no obvious safeguarding policy or procedure for the type of concerns which should show and be shown to those who work for the Crown. There is no Harry now to be the whipping boy of the royal family, and there is no Meghan now to receive the attention that you all wanted to receive. The royal family has everything that they wanted, yet they lack everything that is required and needed to give the monarchy a future. Supporters of Harry and Meghan are global and have zero interest in the plight of the day-to-day activities within the palaces. People in the UK are also less interested than they used to be. I speak for myself here. My focus and priorities in terms of charitable endeavours are all centred on Archewell Foundation and its various charities. No concern for the British royal family and its predicament at the moment. Self-inflicted harm done to the UK monarchy because of fragile egos who wanted the spotlight to be focused on 4 senior members only. Well, you have had that spotlight since March 2020. How are things going for you years down the line? Perhaps it's time for these commentators to consider allowing Harry and Meghan the freedom to live their lives without incessant judgment. Many tabloids seem trapped in a fantasy where Harry would abandon his beloved wife and children to return to a toxic environment rife with racism and hostility. The truth is that the Sussexes have firmly moved forward, leaving behind the venomous narratives crafted by the press. It's high time these publications acknowledged that Harry and Meghan are not coming back, no matter how fervently they wish otherwise. And by that, I mean no matter how fervently the British royal family, courtiers and all their other pals, and particularly the media, they're the ones who would wish things to be otherwise. But they are also the ones that created the environment which made it impossible for Harry and Meghan to stay. And I, for one, and I know that the majority, if not all, of the global support network are so pleased that Harry and Meghan didn't have that 50-50 offer on the table, and that they left completely and left all those people that wanted the spotlight with several spotlights now. Now you can all get on with it. The impact of the media's barrage of negative coverage on Harry and Meghan has been profound. The couple has faced immense stress and anxiety, forced to defend their choices against a backdrop of blatant racism and envy. Despite their efforts to focus on philanthropy and positive contribution to society, the constant stream of lies and vitriol has been relentless, in the hope that the couple will fail and come crawling back to the toxicity in the palaces. Everyone except people in the palaces and their media recognise that the couple and the support network are way past that point a long time ago. That ship has well and truly sailed. This situation underscores the significant damage a media-driven agenda can inflict on individuals striving for a peaceful existence. The media's insistence that Harry and Meghan will eventually return to royal life is almost comical. Even as Harry and Meghan build a new future for themselves and their children, the media seems stuck in a storyline of their own making, one that bears no relevance to the couple's actual lives. Despite the couple's clear and resolute decision to pursue their own path, the press clings desperately to an outdated narrative, much like the approach to what a UK monarchy will look like as the months go by. It is about time a dose of reality set in, and real discussions that contain some modicum of reality would be a good start. The number of breaches in various aspects of the law, both national and, more importantly, international law, is going to come back on many of those who think they are safe. Time will tell. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan deserve much better than anything coming out of any of the royal palaces. The ramifications of Harry and Meghan's departure from the royal family extend beyond personal choices. They have reshaped how society views the monarchy. Their journey is not just about stepping back from royal duties. It is about reclaiming their narrative and redefining what it means to be part of the royal family in today's world. The ongoing fascination with their lives underscores a collective yearning for authenticity and connection. The impact of their choices will undoubtedly echo through time, inspiring future generations to challenge the status quo and embrace their unique journeys. Prince Harry and Meghan were scapegoats for a dysfunctional monarchy, one author says. Again, in the reference sources, any authors that I've been quoting from are all listed with the names of their books and also dates of any articles that they produced and whichever paper that they were publicised in. So, Prince Harry and Meghan were made scapegoats for the dysfunctional monarchy when in reality they were royal rock stars, the author of a new book has told Newsweek. If I remember rightly, I think it's Robert or Robin Lacey, the author that says this particular bit about the dysfunctional monarchy. I also know, just from reading a number of things that have been in the press over the years, he's very much a monarchy person. So I kind of expect him to be sitting on the fence on some of these things because he's not going to really disparage the monarchy as an institution. But you can tell just from those few lines that I included there that his views have been changing about Harry and Meghan. Not saying he's a big fan, but he's definitely changing towards them and showing some warmth. But like I said, most of his money has been earned by praising the royal family, so I'm not expecting major shifts. There are several reference sources listed under the headings of the framework for this podcast. The above phrase is probably one of the most honest statements made by any of the royal media crews. It has taken years for such a statement to be spoken out loud. Too late now, but work may be able to commence which will enable the monarchy to have a few more years. It won't be here decades down the line. As I am picking out sort of sections from my notes that I'm reading out here for the podcast, I'm very conscious of the time, that it's already nearly 50 minutes. Very soon we'll be around the hour mark, and we're not quite halfway through the amount of things that I have tried to cover, as well as the numerous links for you to go and look at even more detail. So I think I am going to decide, I'm going to split this podcast into two halves, and I'm going to bring this one to a close within the next 5-10 minutes and continue with it, the remainder part of it, next week. It'll still be a summary because I said there's lots of data. I've said that from the beginning, but I think it's particularly useful how it's mapped, or how I've tried to pull things together that maps the progress that Harry and Meghan have made over the last few years, despite all the hurdles and the venom and everything else that was thrown at them. They're still standing, and more so, they are global icons now. They are respected on the global stage. They are working wonderfully with so many groups and charities around the globe. They deserve every bit of success and happiness from here on in. And that's why I ended up even though I was summarising, still gathering so much information. But I am going to make it a two-parter because I don't want to gloss over the second half of the headings I read out at the beginning in terms of the framework, because there are some really, really good points that have been made by other people observing how Harry and Meghan have conducted themselves since they moved to the USA, and just the amount of work, the projects that they have got underway, networks that they project manage and fund, and just so many wonderful, wonderful projects that are underway that you and we don't hear about on a daily basis. We hear when they've done sort of particular things and they've reached a certain point in their planning, which is what I love about them. They come back and tell us about impact, results, not the theory of what they're going to do. So with that in mind, let me just quickly go through the headings of the framework that I will be speaking on next week. And that's probably going to be, as a minimum, an hour as well. But I won't take it into a part 3 because I've got other podcasts in this series already lined up. So I'm pushing those back a week to accommodate the second half of this one. We've covered about redefining royalty and international influence. We've covered the evolution of monarchy and being the monarchy's scapegoats, and move from that to now global change makers. I haven't covered the details of youth empowerment and the media evolution, and also more details about Invictus Games coming up. I have talked briefly about Archwell, but there's more to come because Archwell comes under other headings that will be discussed next week. And there will be more information on upcoming projects and also Netflix and As Ever and all of that. I'll talk more about that. I haven't touched on so much today. I think it was a couple of lines, but there definitely is a whole section that I have got notes for that I said I haven't got time to go through them today, and I don't want to rush through them because they're important, where I make comparisons between global press and the respect that they show in their writing, in their articles about the work of Harry and Meghan, and compare it to the UK tabloid smear campaigns. That's the best way to describe what they churn out with their crowns. That needs spotlight put on it because it's still disgraceful. And the fact that they even think that Harry and Meghan want to come back and be under their gaze, it's just sheer nonsense. Also, in next week's half, we will talk a little bit more about the hierarchy, how archaic it all is, all to do with the royal family and the things that they're accusing Harry and Meghan of ruining, when really those things needed looking at and being revamped or cut out altogether in the future. I won't spend a lot of time on that because I don't have a lot of sympathy for them, but I'll cover it because it's a fact that they'll be out of circulation quicker if they don't start to look at how they're set up, who's going to do what, how they're going to function. And then I will end that second half of the podcast with the psychology section, where it talks about resilience, post-traumatic growth, and reclaiming the narrative again. And that whole section is worthy of time because it covers what, if you like, the journey of Harry and Meghan and what they have gone through since 2016 and to where they are now. And it covers resilience, post-trauma, the growth from that, and reclaiming their own narrative. So I think, clearly, it was very ambitious of me to expect to go through 7 sections in one podcast. We've managed to go through about 3.5, definitely 3, and a little bit of the Archwell details, but that will come next week. So I hope you don't mind that, but I don't want to just gloss over it with a couple of lines here and there. It warrants more than that. They've done very, very well. And let's not forget that there are other senior people within and on the plantation behind Gilded Gates who haven't even got one bullet point to talk about in terms of completion. And we're here running out of time with 7, and there's more than 7, but the 7 that I put together for this purpose. And there are so many things, so much information. We could talk about what Harry and Meghan and their various partners that they're working with on a number of charitable activities. That would, each of those bullet points would fill a whole podcast. So the fact I was trying to do 7 was really beyond ambitious. It was foolish. We've done about half of those, but I want to give it justice. So I will do the second half next Sunday, and then we'll move on to the next one in the Crown in Crisis mini-series. So, not my usual sort of ending, because we haven't really ended, but I'm just stopping at this stage in the process and hope that you found some of that, if not all, interesting. Hopefully you found most of it, if not all, interesting. I just think this is about giving praise where praise is due. Harry and Meghan have done beyond well. They've really, really been very successful, and they're well on their way to becoming billionaires. And that's what I want to see. And I want to see that continue to grow. And they are resilient. They're still standing. And I love that for them, and I love that for those that didn't want that to happen. And I want them to look and weep. But that's just me. So, for this first half, which wasn't planned to be in halves, but here's what it is. It's quality information. They deserve the profile. Excuse me. So, for now, it's bye from me. Bye from Ivy. Bye.